Title: Poor Girl. Bullied to death at work, her billionaire. Twin sister disguises for bloody revenge. When a fragile young woman is bullied to her breaking point at a toxic workplace, her mysterious death shocks no one except her estranged twin. But this isn't just grief. Her billionaire sister swears vengeance, stepping into her sister's world in disguise. The office bullies thought they buried their victim. Instead, they awakened a predator. Ariana Miller was poor, quiet, and endlessly bullied at her corporate office until her torment ended in tragedy, her untimely death dismissed as suicide. But her identical twin, Ariana Miller, a ruthless self-made billionaire hidden from the world, refuses to accept such injustice. In disguise, Ariana steps into Anna's life, infiltrating her sister's office. What her tormentors don't know: she's not weak, not broken, and definitely not forgiving. Each insult, each cruel prank, and each betrayal is paid back tenfold. But revenge is never clean. Blood spills, secrets unravel, and the line between justice and obsession blurs. The fragile twin. The office of Grayson & Co. Financial Consulting smelled of burnt coffee and paper toner, the kind of place where ambition trumped humanity. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like a cruel soundtrack, and cubicles boxed in dreams that were already dying. Ariana Miller sat at her desk, her trembling fingers scrolling through numbers on her computer screen. Her hair, thin and chestnut brown, fell like curtains around her pale face. She was 26, but her eyes looked older, weighed down by exhaustion and silence. Her colleagues hardly noticed her, except when they wanted to. "Anna," Samantha Gray's sharp voice sliced through the air. Samantha, a 30-something, senior manager with blonde curls that always looked salon-perfect, marched toward Anna's cubicle. Her heels clicked like gavel strikes. "These reports are sloppy. Do you even check your work, or is mediocrity just your style?" Anna's chest tightened. She opened her mouth, but nothing came. The spreadsheets were correct. She had double-checked them 3 times. But Samantha didn't care about facts. I'll fix it," Anna whispered. "You'd better," Samantha sneered, slamming the folder on Anna's desk. "Or maybe you're just not cut out for this company. Plenty of interns would kill for your seat." A chorus of muffled laughs came from nearby desks. Lucas Brown leaned back in his chair, smirking. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried the arrogance of a man who believed charm excused cruelty. "Don't worry, Anna," he said mockingly. "Maybe one day you'll get promoted to coffee girl." Clara Dean, who pretended to be Anna's friend, giggled. "Oh, Lucas, don't be mean. Anna's trying." Then, turning to Anna, she added in a sugary voice, "You really should speak up more. People walk all over you." The hypocrisy stung, worse than the insults. Anna lowered her gaze. Her throat burned, her stomach churned. Words clawed inside her chest, begging to be released, but her voice always betrayed her. Too soft, too unsure, too forgettable. By lunchtime, she sat alone, at a corner table in the cafeteria. Samantha and Clara walked past, laughing loudly, their trays clattering. Anna picked at her sandwich, appetite gone. That evening, long after most had left, Anna remained at her desk fixing the reports. The office was quiet now, the silence wrapping around her like a shroud. She stared at the numbers, but they blurred. Through her tears, she pressed her palms against her temples. "Why can't I fight back? Why can't I be stronger?" Her phone buzzed, a text from Clara. "Hey, don't come tomorrow. Samantha says you're useless. Just trying to help." Her hand shook as she read it. Useless? The word cut deep, deeper than all the others. She packed her bag slowly, every motion heavy. On the subway ride home, she stared at her reflection, in the window. The city rushed by in streaks of neon and shadow, but all she saw was emptiness. Her apartment was small, 1 bedroom, peeling wallpaper. She placed her bag on the table, sat on the bed, and let the silence swallow her. No one would notice if she disappeared. No one would care. Her last thought before the night consumed her was of her childhood twin sister, Ariana. The strong one, the fighter. They hadn't spoken in years. Tears blurred her vision as she whispered, "I wish you were here." The next morning, Anna Miller was found dead in her apartment. The report called it suicide. But the truth? It was murder. Death by cruelty. The other Miller. The phone call came just after midnight. Ariana Miller was in her penthouse overlooking Manhattan, her glass of Bordeaux untouched on the marble counter, when her private line buzzed. She almost ignored it. Only a handful of people had that number. "Miss Miller," a voice cracked on the other end. "This is the New York Police Department. We regret to inform you that your sister, Anna Miller, was found deceased in her residence tonight." Ariana froze. For a moment, the city beyond her glass walls, its lights glittering like jewels scattered across velvet, ceased to exist. "My sister?" she repeated as if the word was foreign. "Yes, ma'am. We're ruling it as suicide." The word made her blood turn to ice. When the call ended, Ariana's hand trembled as she set the phone down. She gripped the counter until her knuckles whitened. She hadn't spoken to Anna in nearly 6 years, not since their bitter parting after their parents' deaths. Anna had stayed behind, trapped in poverty, while Ariana had clawed her way to wealth, brilliant, ruthless, and alone. And now, her twin was gone. At the funeral, Ariana arrived in black, her tailored dress as sharp as a blade. The church pews were nearly empty, just a handful of colleagues muttering hollow condolences. No family, no real friends. Ariana stared at the casket, the pale wood that imprisoned what was left of her sister. Anna's picture rested atop it. Timid smile, shy eyes, a softness that the world had chewed up and spit out. She hadn't been loved. She hadn't been defended, and Ariana felt guilt clawing inside her. I should have been there. I should have protected her. When the priest droned on about peace, Ariana's jaw tightened. Peace was not what Anna deserved. Anna deserved justice. At the graveside, when the dirt hit the coffin, Ariana whispered under her breath, "They think they killed you. But I swear, Anna, they've awakened something far worse. If the world broke you, I'll break the world back." Her eyes burned with a fire that had nothing to do with grief. It was vengeance, raw and unyielding. The Mask of Anna. The transformation began in silence. Ariana spent nights in Anna's apartment, walking through the shadows her sister had left behind. The chipped mug in the sink, the notebooks with half-written dreams, the timid handwriting in the margins of bills. Every object whispered Anna's story. She practiced Anna's posture, her lowered gaze, her quiet stammer. She dressed in thrift store blouses and worn shoes. Her sharp, billionaire edge was buried beneath Anna's fragile skin. The mirror became her enemy and her ally. Ariana would stare for hours until the confident glint in her eyes dulled, replaced by the meek shimmer of Anna's. When she was ready, she forged the papers, called the office, and said in a trembling voice, "This is Anna Miller. I'll be returning to work." The next morning, she walked through the glass doors of Grayson & Co., the office buzzing with gossip. "Didn't she, die?" someone whispered. "She looks different." Ariana kept her head low, fighting the smirk tugging at her lips. They thought she was Anna. Fragile, broken Anna. And that was perfect. Samantha Gray spotted her first. "Anna," she gasped, eyes widening before narrowing with suspicion. You're back?" "Yes," Ariana said softly, mimicking her sister's tone. "I just needed time." Samantha forced a thin smile. Well, don't think you can slack off. This place moves fast. Ariana nodded, hiding the steel beneath her calm. Inside, her pulse roared with triumph. They had no idea. The silent hunt days turned into weeks, and Ariana, wearing Anna's skin, watched. She observed Samantha's cruelty, how she barked orders, took credit for others' work, manipulated her way into the boss's good graces. She studied Lucas, always late, always smug, always ready with a cruel joke. She learned of his gambling addiction, his mounting debts. And Clara, the two-faced friend who smiled to Anna's face while stabbing her in the back. Ariana hacked into her phone, discovering strings of nasty texts mocking Anna. One by one, Ariana set her traps. In a team meeting, Samantha snapped, "Anna, your numbers are wrong. Again!" But Ariana calmly slid forward the corrected report already signed off by the director. "Actually, Samantha, I believe these are accurate. Perhaps you overlooked the details." The room went silent. Samantha's face flushed red as suppressed. Chuckles echoed. Lucas was next. Ariana, accidentally, tipped him off about a fake stock deal. He poured thousands into it, money he didn't have. Within a week, he was in panic, calling brokers, begging for extensions. Ariana watched him unravel, her lips curving ever so slightly. As for Clara, Ariana anonymously forwarded screenshots of her gossip texts to the entire department. Overnight, Clara became a pariah, whispered about in break rooms. Each move was subtle, precise. The wolves were bleeding, but Ariana was only sharpening her claws. In the quiet of Anna's apartment, she looked at her sister's photo. "Small steps, Anna," she whispered, "but soon, they'll pay with more than humiliation." Breaking. The wolves, the office was shifting. The once untouchable trio was crumbling. Samantha snapped at interns, her confidence shaken after being publicly corrected. Rumors swirled about her mishandling client accounts. Ariana had made sure of that, planting evidence of Samantha's mistakes and leaking them to the higher-ups. Lucas was drowning. His gambling debts turned dangerous. Collectors began showing up at the office. Ariana watched from her desk, feigning innocence as he begged them in hushed tones. His swagger was gone, replaced by desperation. Clara avoided everyone, her once loud laughter replaced by silence. Ariana had ensured her friends knew of her betrayal. At lunch, she sat alone, the same way Anna had once sat, isolated and broken. But humiliation was no longer enough. Ariana's rage had grown darker. The memory of Anna's fragile body, the whisper of suicide, haunted her. One night, Ariana stood in front of Anna's mirror wearing her sister's cardigan. She whispered to the reflection, "They made you feel small. They made you feel worthless. I won't stop until they feel what you felt, until their blood cries out the way your heart did." Her eyes were cold, unrecognizable. The silent hunt was over. The bloody reckoning was about to begin. The bloody reckoning. The city groaned under the weight of a storm that night, rain hammering glass towers, thunder growling across the skyline. Ariana moved through the darkness like a shadow, her black coat soaked, her heart steady. The time for subtlety was over. Her sister's face haunted her in every puddle, every reflection. "This is for you, Anna. Tonight, the wolves die." Lucas. She began with Lucas Brown. She had tracked his gambling habits, the debts he owed to men who didn't forgive easily. That night she called him with Anna's timid voice. "Lucas, I need your help. Please, meet me in the parking garage." His car screeched into the underground lot minutes later. He looked frantic, sweaty, his eyes darting. "Anna, what the hell are you doing here? I've got no time." Ariana stepped from the shadows, no longer Anna. Her shoulders squared, her voice cold. "It's not Anna. Not anymore. He blinked, confusion flickering into fear. What? What are you talking about? You broke her, Ariana said, stepping closer. Day after day you mocked her. You made her believe she was nothing. You killed my sister. Lucas laughed nervously, backing up. Oh, come on. It was just office jokes. She was too sensitive. Ariana's lips curved in a grim smile. And now, so are brakes. His eyes widened. He turned toward his car, but when he started it, the engine roared too loud, then screamed. Ariana had tampered with it. The vehicle shot forward uncontrollably, slamming into a concrete pillar. Metal screamed, glass shattered, and Lucas's scream was cut short in a wet crunch. Ariana didn't flinch. She walked away, the storm washing the blood from her path. Clara Dean lived in a high-rise, her apartment glittering with cheap luxury. Bought on credit. Ariana knocked on her door just past midnight. Anna? Clara gasped when she opened it, her face pale. You're alive? Ariana smiled coldly. Alive enough. She stepped inside without invitation. Clara backed, away, her voice trembling. Listen, whatever you think, I didn't mean it. Those texts, the gossip, it was Samantha. She made me— You stabbed her in the back when she was alive, Ariana hissed, advancing, and then you laughed when she was dead. Clara's breathing grew rapid. She stumbled toward the counter where a bottle of pills lay open. Her hands shook as she poured too many into her palm. I can't. Please, don't, Clara sobbed, but Ariana only watched, her eyes sharp as blades. You were always weak. Now choke on it. Clara swallowed the pills with trembling gulps of vodka. Her body convulsed, foam gathering at her lips as she collapsed to the floor. Ariana crouched, her voice a whisper against the dying woman's ear. Tell her you're sorry when you see her. Then she left, the storm swallowing her footsteps. Samantha Gray was the queen of the office no more. Whispers of fraud and corruption followed her. Her desk had become a throne of glass cracking beneath her weight. That night, she stayed, late, frantically shredding documents. The storm rattled the windows. Working late? A voice murmured. Samantha spun around. Anna stood there, or what looked like Anna. Pale, dripping rainwater, eyes dark. Anna, Samantha whispered. Her voice breaking. But you died? No, Ariana said, stepping closer, her disguise slipping away. Her voice grew steel, her posture lethal. Anna died. I'm her twin, and I came to collect. Samantha stumbled back, knocking over a lamp. I didn't mean for her to— She was weak, not my fault. You humiliated her, Ariana snarled. You crushed her until she couldn't breathe. You murdered her with your cruelty. No, Samantha screamed, I didn't kill anyone. Ariana's eyes gleamed in the flicker of lightning. You didn't hold the rope, but you tied it around her neck every day. Samantha tried to run, but Ariana grabbed her, slamming her against the desk. Papers flew, glass shattered. You don't get to laugh anymore, Ariana hissed, her hands tightening around Samantha's throat. Samantha clawed, gasped, eyes bulging. Lightning illuminated Ariana's face, cold, merciless. When the last breath rattled out of Samantha's lungs, Ariana released her. The body crumpled to the floor, eyes frozen in terror. The storm outside broke, thunder roaring like applause. Ariana stood over the corpse, chest heaving. Her hands were stained red, trembling, not with regret, but with release. Anna is avenged. The ghost that remains dawn crept slowly over the city, painting the skyline in pale gold. Ariana sat in Anna's apartment, her sister's cardigan draped around her shoulders. The silence was deafening. The news was already spreading. Lucas Brown, dead in a freak car accident. Clara Dean, Overdose, Samantha Gray, found strangled in her office. 3 deaths in one night. 3 wolves silenced. Ariana stared at Anna's photo on the nightstand. The same timid smile. The same soft eyes. "It's done," Ariana whispered. Her voice broke. "They can't hurt you anymore." But the reflection in the window told another story. Ariana's eyes were hollow, her smile twisted. She had avenged Anna. But what had she become? She walked to the bathroom mirror. For a moment she saw Anna's face staring back, sad, broken. Then her own, cold, ruthless. Neither belonged to her anymore. She wasn't Ariana, the billionaire. She wasn't Anna, the fragile sister. She was something new, something forged in grief and sharpened by blood. That morning, she went to the office. One last time. People stared, whispers chasing her down the hall. The deaths had left the company in shock, paranoia spreading like wildfire. At Anna's old desk, Ariana sat for a moment. She touched the keyboard, the pens, the papers. Then she pulled Anna's ID card from her pocket. For a long moment, she stared at it, the name, the photo, the life that had been swallowed by cruelty. Then, with steady hands, she struck a match. The plastic curled. The flames devoured the card until only ashes remained. She let them fall into the trash bin. As she walked out of Grayson & Co. for the last time, she whispered to herself, "Justice was never enough. Only blood could silence their laughter." The city was alive with the morning rush. No one noticed the woman in the black coat disappearing into the crowd. But somewhere, in every whisper of thunder, in every shadow of glass, Anna Miller's ghost lingered. Finally, at peace, even as her sister carried the burden.